Now we're in chapter 2 where we are going to talk about solving equations. Recall equations are statements that we have an expression, and that we're claiming they're equal. So in my two examples, one side my expression is x squared plus 2 times x, and the other expression is 8, and I'm claiming that they're equal. In my other equation, I have the expression 3 times x plus 2, and on the other side I just have the number 17, and then I'm claiming that they're equal. So again, equations are situations where we claim that two expressions are equal, and in order to solve them, the idea is basically a three-leveled concept. Believe it or not, a lot of math is built on these three statements working together. When we start graphing later and solving systems of equations, it all comes back down to this. You're going to hear this a lot. So when I'm asking you to solve an equation, I'm basically asking you to do the following three things. The first thing you need to do is find a value for the variable. All right, hopefully that makes sense, because when we don't know what x is, I cannot evaluate this expression. So I got to find a value for x. Now there's a lot of algebra behind it, but at times, sometimes it's just guessing, and that's what you're going to kind of see me do, at least in this video. Once we find the value, our next move is to actually substitute that value into the equation. So now it is a lot like evaluation. And then once we sub it in and do our evaluation work, what we should get is a true statement. If we get a true statement, we have found the solution. If we don't get a true statement, that means we got to try again. All right, try an algebraic technique, guess another number, whatever the case might be, until we find the solution. So again, three tiers: find a value, sub it in, let's see if we get a true statement. So let's experiment with that idea with these two equations that I have down here. Let's start with this harder one. All right, so again, there's some algebra involved in this to actually find the actual values, but that's more of a 120 concept. I just want to experiment with this three idea concept about solutions. So I'm just going to pick a value. All right, so let's just imagine I let x equal to 2. All right, so when I plug 2 in there, so I gave myself a value, right? I found a value, I subbed it in, and now I'm going to see if I get a true statement. So order of operations, 2 squared would give us 4, 2 times 2 would give us 4, and lo and behold, I got really lucky on my first guess. Thank goodness my favorite number is 2. All right, and so we basically found a solution. So I say x equals 2 is a solution. The problem with guessing like I did is we never really know when we're done. The question now is this the only solution? Are there more solutions? And that's why we use algebra to answer that question. But just to kind of demonstrate this again, let's just say we ended up using something like -3. Let me throw some negatives out there. If I plug -3 in there, all right, so I found a value, I plugged it in, let's see if we get a true statement. And so doing the order of operations, -3 squared would result in a 9. 2 times -3 results in a -6. And when we add these, there's more positive stuff. There's 3 more positive things, and that's not a true statement. So that basically means that -3 is not a solution. So again, find a value, plug it in, see if you get a true statement. Okay? Over to this a little easier one, let's just make some guesses. Maybe I guess that x is equal to, let's say, 2. All right, let's try 2 again. So when I plug that in, I gave myself a value, I plugged it in, we're going to see if we get a true statement. So 3 times 2 would give us 6. 6 plus 2 gives us 8. So this is not a solution under this case. All right? So let's just kind of keep trying some values. Let's try 4. Right? So when I put 4 in there, right, 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. And so that's not the solution either. But we're kind of getting a little closer. Notice 2 evaluated out to 8. 4 evaluated out to 14. So maybe if we just keep trying, maybe if we try 5. Right? So 3 times 5 plus 2. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. and then 15 plus 2 is 17, and that's a true statement. So we just found one of our solutions there. And again, the question is it the only one that works? Are there more that works? And that's what we turn to algebra to nail down exactly what values, right, can I sub in to give me a true statement. But hopefully this gives you a quick introduction of what it means to solve an equation. And looking forward, obviously we're going to be using this a lot in Chapter 2, but this same concept comes up over and over again in Chapter 3, and in Chapter 8, and in Chapter 9. We're constantly finding values that when I sub into a situation gives us a true statement. All right, and that's pretty much how you can check your solutions. So we're going to add some algebra to this, so the algebra will actually help us find the value. So that's going to be in the next video. Well done, and I'll see you guys in that video.